Do you feel overwhelmed or confused when it comes to what to do with your original songs after they've been written? In this video, I take you behind the scenes of the Rustic Songbird Podcast, where I interview Holly Salazar, all about song administration and what to do with your songs after they're written to make sure that they're legally protected and that you get paid for your music. I hope you enjoy this interview, and I want to invite you to check out the whole archive of the podcast for interviews with people in the music industry. To check out the whole list of previous episodes, go to rusticsongbird.com/podcast, and I hope that you'll subscribe to this channel for even more videos like this coming soon. Let's get started. Real quick, I want to let you know about a free challenge that I've put together for songwriters to help build your confidence and put yourself out there and to show up at your best, because perfection is overrated. To join this free challenge, go to rusticsongbird.com/challenge. My guest on the show today is Holly Salazar, and she is going to be talking about her story as well as sharing some tips and kind of a song administration 101. I'm so excited about this today because Holly has just recently launched a course with Chrissy Nordoff, and it's the Writing Worship Song Admin course. And I'm so excited that this is out there because I see it's a big need, and I thought this was the perfect time to bring Holly on the show. So welcome, and thanks for being here.
Man, thanks so much for having me, girl. It's fun.
Yeah, I love talking about music, and I love talking about music business. So we're going to share some good advice and tips for people that are getting started, and there might be some aha moments. I'm hoping for that here today, just going over the basics. I think keeping it simple is the way to go. But first, let's introduce you and tell me a little bit about your story and how you got into the music industry.
Yeah, so this is really year 12 for me. Moved here right out of high school for college. I came for a music business degree. I also have a management degree that goes alongside of it. Just moved here like everybody else, wanting to do the music thing, wanted to be a songwriter, wanted to see my name in lights or my name on every song or win the awards or win a Grammy, So this kind of the dream was always, 13, 14 years old. I want to write songs for a living. I want to be in the business. So moved here about 3 weeks after I moved here, started working full time in the music industry, worked for a small publishing company at the time. They had Garth Brooks. Garth was, coming back. He was making new music, doing, video shoots, photo shoots, writing. So I really got full hands-on experience with him, anything from dealing with his PRO to copyrights, contracts, licensing, seeing anything and everything, and spent about 2 years with him. They also had, the band Perry, Taylor Swift would come in and write, Liz Rose, so all the big Nashville people, the people that you wanted to see or learn from or just be around, they came in the door. So it was a great first experience, a very large first experience. So I kind of just got thrown right into the fire upon moving here, which now is like the best thing ever. But I left that publishing company, went to work at another publishing company, and then went to an all-girls marketing company. And right about the time that I graduated college, started with BMI, just working full-time with BMI, doing admin and distribution stuff. Really got to see the back end of a PRO and how a PRO functions and how international licenses work. So yeah, it's very broad, anything from music publishing, a lot of A&R, touring in between, BMI, and then, just private consulting ever since. Still writing songs. There was probably a period of 7 years where I didn't write songs because I was so heavy on the admin side of the industry. But about 4 years ago, started writing primarily full-time. Have some sync publishing deals. I do write a lot of CCM and worship for the local church. So it definitely keeps me busy on both sides of the desk.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so you came into Nashville to be an artist, to do the thing, like be the star. And then you got all this incredible experience on the back end of everything and enough to understand how the business side works. And I think there's so many people out there on the artist side that are where you were, 12 years ago, 10 years ago, when you were like, you had this dream in mind, and then it kind of changed and became something else. And now with all this experience, you're giving back, you're teaching other people how to set up their music, how to get paid for their music, and make sure that they're covered and make sure their songs are protected and all of that. And so it's such a gift, because there's so many creative people who think with that side of their brain, and then they think, oh, I just don't understand the business side. So I'd love to break it down and just share like the basics for people getting started that are already writing songs but don't know what to do with them after they're written. So what advice would you give to them?
Yeah, that's kind of how we ended up with the song admin course, was just sitting in writing rooms. Like Chrissy and I would both be writing, and Chrissy is a signed writer and has done the artist thing as well. So she's got years of knowledge and experience and wisdom, and she imparts a lot of that on her writing courses. She interviewed me for a podcast on that song admin because we had been writing with a lot of the same people, and they all had questions and I somehow had answers. So it kind of just grew from a podcast to, well, why don't we make a song admin course? Why don't we make this available for everyone? The local church, it's a need mostly in the local church, but also just writers. And we made it for all genres. And we also made it for international writers, through Brave Worship. We have several friends in the UK and Ireland, Australia. And so it's been just a resource. So we created it to be very simple, step by step, almost like a one-on-one. Like if I was consulting with you, you would be able to see my screen. So we did a lot of screen share, a lot of screen grabs, just the recording, so you could see what it's like if I log into my BMI account. What do you see in a BMI account? How do you register a song? How do you register a public domain song or a live performance? So all of that is really included step by step in the course. Even if you're an artist and you don't write a lot, you're just dabbling in that, I always say find a PRO. Step one is just really find a performance rights organization. ASCAP and BMI are the two main companies in the US. CSAC is here in the US as well. You have to be invited to join in, and it's a longer process. ASCAP or BMI, you can go on the website and join immediately. There are a few differences between the companies. Primarily, they function the same way. A PRO just collects and distributes blanket licensing. So any song that you hear when you walk into a restaurant, a bar, on the radio, those kinds of performance royalties are collected and then distributed to writers and publishers. So really, step one, PROs. Step two, if you're releasing the song, is looking at copyrights. Do you need a copyright? And we talk in depth about that in the course, because that seems to be the number one topic. Even in a writing room with publishers, writers, artists who are signed, it's when do you need a copyright, and do I need that? And the simple answer to that is something like, it's $65 for a copyright. So if you're going to play the song one time, just at a writer's round, or if you're going to play it one time in church, you're probably not making that $65 back. So it's kind of like if you're not releasing the song, you might not need a copyright. It's technically a copyright if you have a voice memo of the song and you have the lyrics and they're dated and they're saved away on your laptop. That does work as a form of copyright. If you're putting the song out, for the world, and you're using distribution and it's going to have thousands of streams or downloads, then it's a little bit more of a, I don't know how to say it. Mostly it's just more wise, I guess, to get the copyright. And that way it is protected legally with the government. If anything ever comes up, if somebody copies your work, infringes upon it, you have that extra measure of protection, so to speak, for the copyright. So, those two items, everyone in music need to know about a PRO and a copyright. Those are the two main items. If you're getting into church music, you're writing worship, CCM, you really need to affiliate with CCLI. CCLI is completely different than a PRO. They don't touch. They have no accountability from one to the other. One doesn't pay out to the other. So, you have your PRO and your copywriter kind of like over here in left field. Center field is really church world. So if you have CCLI, that's more of the worship CCM realm. If you're a church and you're writing songs for the local church, you're writing songs for multiple churches, you really need to join CCLI to get your accounts established, to make sure that you are getting your songs registered. There is a number that other churches can license out, so you're paid for those songs. And again, that's more the church world. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, I'm an artist, I'm not really a writer, sometimes these will benefit you. If you're an artist who kind of co-writes, definitely look into PRO's copyrights. If you're an artist that's really just looking to put music out, we have a whole section, I think it's like session 5 is distribution. And again, I log into my account and I use DistroKid, which they're my favorite for many reasons. It's simple to use and they take no royalties from you. It's just a specific amount, whatever you pick for your account, whether it's artist or label or a mega label, it'll just charge you that one fee annually, just once a year. So we really look into distribution because a lot of people use Songtrust as an administrator for distribution. So if you have CD Baby or TuneCore, you can also select to have administration through them to where they'll collect your publishing, but they're also going to take a certain percentage out of your publishing and your artist and the songs. So we kind of break down every distribution company that's popular. So we picked, I think, 8 of them, kind of broke them down and how much does it cost? How much do they take out in royalties? Do they offer administration? Do they offer that publishing? Do they push the song? What does that look like? Distribution, it's really easy nowadays as an artist or as a writer to get paid through distribution. So if I'm an artist and I'm releasing a song and I wrote it with 3 other people, there's 4 of us on that song, but those other people need to be paid. So if I'm using DistroKid, I can log into my account and I can actually set how those writers are paid. So you can pay out directly. So that's now an option, which makes paying mechanical royalties way easier than before. It's very hard if you're an independent publisher to pay out mechanical royalties. There's so much math involved in the splitting of shares versus how many songs were streamed or how many songs were downloaded. So we really go into depth about the distribution side and leading into those mechanical royalties. And then again, especially on the artist side, there's a company called Sound Exchange, which is completely different from all these other companies we've talked about. It's almost like a checklist that you need to make sure, okay, I checked off PROs, copyrights, CCLI for church, distribution, royalties, and here we are with Sound Exchange. So they are this company that they really collect what's called extraterrestrial royalties. So extraterrestrial meaning Sirius satellite radio, foreign satellite radio. They do the music choice channel. So if you're walking into a dentist office and they have the 80s and Madonna is scrolling across, she's getting paid for that. It's a public performance in the dentist office, even on TV. So if you're releasing songs globally through distribution, which most of us are, even as singer-songwriters, I'm not really an artist, but I still have a few songs out there, and I'm still making money off of Sound Exchange because they end up on Sirius or Pandora or iHeartRadio, and somehow they're all picked up, and Sound Exchange identifies them once I have submitted them. So not only with Sound Exchange do you get paid for being the artist, but you also get paid for being the copyright holder. So if you're an artist who writes, you're going to get a bigger percentage. It's usually about 95%. And then, of course, they keep 5% for admin fees and for paying their employees. But I would rather have 95% of nothing than nothing. So, all these companies, most of them are free to join. They're very accessible. BMI as the PRO is free to join. It's $150 if you want to affiliate as a publisher with them. ASCAP, it's $50 for your writer account and then $50 for publishing. So you can also pay the $100 up front and do it all at once. CCLI, free to join, they take a percentage. Distribution just costs you an annual fee. Sound exchange, free to join, they take a percentage. So we kind of just break through everything step by step. You'll see me log into my accounts to go through this in a way more detail than we're talking about today. And then you'll see, everything on the screen. You'll see me explain what I'm clicking. You'll see the back end result of it, the song go through. You'll really see the copyright side, and copyrights are kind of overwhelming. So we kind of took that away. We just logged in, we registered several different scenarios of the different forms of copyrights, why you would use them for this particular occurrence, how to do it, what that looks like. And I mean, once you have the course, you can slow it down, you can stop it, pause it, go through step by step while you're doing your own songs. So, just kind of a broad spectrum. If you're not doing these things, you're losing money. If you're a writer, publisher, artist, and you've worked hard and you've spent money to get the songs out, you've spent money on the demo or the master, the mixing, engineering, all the production, all the marketing, this is for you. This is how to help make that money back. This is why we do what we do. And, Chrissy always says this, and she's a prime example of someone who's done it for years. Either she had a deal, or even if she didn't, you feed a family on this. You can make a living as a writer. Yes, it's hard, and a lot of times we have to do our own work on the back end, but you can still feed a family as a writer and make it in the industry, even if you're not signed. So yeah, it was just, the hope is that the course is really there to benefit songwriters, artists, the local church especially. There was no resource like this before, so we are happy to get it out, to promote it, to assist further. You have my contact information is in there when you do purchase the course, so you can email me directly. There's Q&As. We also did a live Q&A webinar on Zoom the day we dropped the course. So we opened it up for Q&A for, questions that most of them were writers who are worship leaders. So a lot of those questions relate to the church, and they came directly from the church, directly from worship leaders who are creating that culture of worship in the church. But this is something that's new for them. It's a very overwhelming experience. I know, I've been there. And I've seen a lot of different scenarios too as a writer. So it's kind of just our hope that, this will continue to just grow. It'll continue to build community, that the people in the course will actually learn from each other through the Q&A, but they'll also be able to meet and interact through other Q&As and writing events to come.
That is so awesome. And as soon as I saw that you were releasing this course together, I thought, wow, this is so needed. I had been seeing the need for that as well, and talking with other musicians about getting their songs out there, getting paid for their songs, even being nervous to put them out because they weren't sure, should I copyright this before I play it for anyone, or should I copyright it when I release it? So there's a lot of questions that can seem vague or can seem just overwhelming. Like you said, there's so many things. And as an independent artist, you're not really like on a specific path that says, okay, do this first, then this, then this. And so that's what your course is really doing, is filling that need and filling the void for people to just have a step-by-step way to make sure that their songs are covered, make sure that they're getting paid for their music. And that's something that I'm passionate about too. I want artists to be able to make a living from their music and from their creative songs that they're putting out there. They put their blood, sweat, and tears into these songs, and they need to get paid for their art. So I think this course is going to be such a blessing to so many people. Tell me how people can find it, get more details, and sign up to take the course.
Yeah, so it's available on www.chrissynordhoff.com/songadmin. I have a link posted as well in my Instagram. It's at holly.a.salazar. So there's a link there, and yeah, we'll just continue to post the link, make it available for everyone to find.
That is so awesome. Thank you for sharing some of that from your story. Real quick, I know it's a new course, but what kind of feedback are you getting so far from people that are in it, that are watching the lessons and implementing right away? What has that feedback been like?
That's been overwhelming, just because so many people are like, they'll tag you and stuff, and they'll just comment and message. I mean, it's been a great kind of overwhelming. It's definitely launched into something that, we didn't know it was going to go global in the first 2 weeks. We knew that we had friends overseas, and I've written with several artists and churches throughout the UK and Australia, and then they started buying it, and they were like, this is great for us in Australia too. And that was kind of just like, oh my gosh, thanks Lord, like that, like he could only do that. We just made the course, we put it out there, and he's really launched it further than my mind could even ever fathom. We definitely have had some comments, through the Q&A, people who couldn't be on the Q&A, that didn't get to be a part of that, had some similar comments to things in the course. So we've been able to further explain some of those directly, just emailing them or Instagram messaging, Facebook messaging. People reach out, and, we're able to assist them further. I think, in the course, you will find that there's a Q&A section, and you can ask questions. So we had a lady actually ask about publishing and going into more like, how do I affiliate with ASCAP? Like, what does that look like? So we created another video and stuck it in the course, so you could see how to do the publishing end and affiliate with ASCAP through publishing step by step, and what it means to be either, a sole proprietor or an LLC or a corporation. What did that mean? So, I mean, your questions will be answered, and a lot of times that'll be in the course as well. So the beauty of it is we have the ability to continue to add to the course, and anytime.
That is such a cool thing with online courses. I'm a big fan of online courses, and even creating them, and just like putting something out there that people can watch on their own time, and they can watch from all over the world. They can get in the course, and like you said, as you're updating it, they're going to get more and more. You can answer more questions, and also you have that community of people that are doing similar things to encourage each other, that have similar questions, and they realize, oh, it's not just me. Like, I have definitely heard from some people that are like, I should probably know this, but I have no clue. And you're not the only one that feels that way. Like, everybody starts from zero, and we all have to learn this. And so a great way to learn is by asking questions to people that are in the music industry, that are working in it every day, that are writing songs regularly. You know the drill, but also like people that are encouraging, and that will tell you like, yes, put your songs out there. Like, don't hold them back just because you don't have everything in place. You need to be putting those songs out there. And I believe that everybody has something to share. Everybody has a different perspective and a different message. And so having these things in place will just give people some confidence and assurance that they're getting their bases covered. And so I think that's what this course does. And then also just the fact that they can connect with you and ask you more questions, anything that's maybe more specific to their situation. So I'm really excited to see what comes of this. And I wanted to recommend it to anybody who is looking into PROs, looking into copyrights, just wants to have that step-by-step, literally watching your screen and where to click, where to go, what to do, and make sure that their songs are protected, and make sure that they get paid for their music. So thank you for breaking down some of that. I know that there's a lot that goes into it, but we just scratched the surface today.
Yeah. No, thanks so much for having me. It was so fun. I always love connecting and sharing. I mean, Chrissy's done such a great job of that over the years with Brave Worship and the writing worship courses. So it was just another way to really build community and to assist the local church.
Yes, this is an amazing resource for musicians, and like you said, for the church, people that are writing worship music. Just such a blessing and such a gift. So thank you for what you're doing, pouring back into songwriters. I believe that this is going to have a ripple effect across the industry. So I'm excited to see it happen, and it's just the beginning. So Holly, thanks for being on the show and for sharing with us today.
Yeah, thanks, girl.
Hey, don't forget to sign up for my Confident Songwriter Challenge. It's absolutely free, and there's a link in the description. You can click to join today. It's a free challenge for songwriters to help build your confidence and to show up at your best, because perfection is overrated. Make sure to sign up today by going to rusticsongbird.com/challenge, or just click the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the challenge. Thank you for watching this behind the scenes episode of the Rustic Songbird Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel for even more videos like this coming soon. Also, check out the whole archive of previous podcast episodes by going to rusticsongbird.com/podcast. All right, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.